You guys, this is my favorite mixed media project of all time, and I really hope that you do it with me. It's so simple and it comes out amazing. You're gonna need 2 pieces of scrapbook paper and a paint color to match. The more contrasting that paint color is to your papers, the more adorable this project seems to get. So I'm using this color Carmine, which is a really pinky red. It dries to a little bit more red and the bottle looks a little bit more pink, but it's kind of a magical color. I've never used it and I've been dying for an excuse to use it. I'm working on a canvas panel that is 12 by 16. Oh, and I have the outline of this dog available as a free PDF. If you want to print it at home to do this same exact project, please let me know and I will drop you a link that will allow you to get the download and you can do this project too. It is so easy. I actually have done this project. I came up with this about, 12 years ago, and I used to sell this guy at craft shows, and I thought, what in the heck? Why am I not sharing this with my mixed media friends on YouTube? Seriously, I am so sorry. So what you're going to want to do is, though, you're going to need 2 nice, big, juicy coats of this color as the base, because this is the whole background, okay? And I know you're going to think you can do it in one, but I really want to encourage you to do 2 coats. I want you to do one going horizontally and then dry it and then do one vertically, okay, opposite each other. And you want to make sure that your paint is nice and juicy when you are laying down these base coats, or it's not going to cover. And when it dries, you're going to have little worn out, yucky spots, okay? So trust me, you want to use, this is nice old-fashioned wet on wet blending, guys, and it's with the same color, but you'd be surprised at how much paint you need to actually really truly cover like a juicy opaque thick layer. And that's what we need to, because this is the only background we got, so we gotta make it a good one. So take your time. This took way longer than you would think to do 2 full coats in opposite directions and then let it dry totally before moving on to the next step. So the next step is to take the download that I have given you of the dog, and it's going to look like that dog outline right there. And you're going to pick out your 2 pieces of paper. Okay, ideally some of your scrapbook paper should have the background color in it so it matches perfectly when you are all done. You're going to need to take a piece of transfer paper, put it dark side or black side down on the back of your scrapbook paper. Then place the dog outline on top. And then you're going to press down with a sharp pen or a pencil. I'm actually working through cardstock, which is why I'm like pressing down so hard. And it will reveal the outline of the dog, which you can then use. You can take your scissors and just cut out. When you flip it over, you'll have the dog right there. Now, I'm listing all the supplies I'm using in the description box below. So my top recommendations for transfer paper, etc., are all there. So once you cut this guy out, so he comes in 2 parts. There's the body, and then he just has 1 ear. And you're going to do the ear in a different but cute correlating paper than you are the body. It just makes it super extra cute. You can even, like, if you want to do the tail as a different piece, or you could do the snout, the body, the tail, and the ear in like 4 different pieces of paper if you want to. You know, the sky is the limit, guys. Let's get creative. But I basically did the body first, and then now I'm going to do the ear in a different paper. And sorry about my wet, gross hair shot. Nobody needs to see that. So sorry. I was just post shower. So I'm now using a different paper, but one that matches the first piece of paper I did. And I'm just doing the ear, and there's the ear. Oh my goodness, this is the best part. And I'm drying the background off to the side. And the cute part about the ear is you can really like fling it however you want, and it like totally changes the look of this dog. So fun. All right, so as you can see, that background color is super contrasting with the dog. So green and red are opposites on the color wheel, which is why they magnify each other. So it's a really, really profound look. And then all I'm doing is taking a flower punch, and I'm using the same 2 pieces of scrapbook paper to punch out the cute little flowers that go in the corners. It's so simple and it's so fun. So you just rearrange them however you want. I've been in a real button obsession mode lately. To the last 4 projects on YouTube, I've had buttons. Oh, there's Rosie. She wanted to come up and say hi. She's very handicapped, so she can only come up if I lift her up, and she asks so nicely if she can come up and say hi, so I could not say no. All right, so now you're going to need to adhere the scrapbooking paper to your background. Now, I like Mod Podge because it's cheap and easy. And so sorry, when I'm gluing down, I really need to get up and over what I'm putting down to make sure it's centered. So that's why you had to look at the back of my head for a second. So you want a nice juicy amount of Mod Podge both under and over on top of the dog. Now I want to layer over the entire project, because if you only have Mod Podge in certain areas, even though this is matte, you'll have sheen in those areas and it'll be super flat in the other areas. So you want to make sure you have it everywhere. You do not need to pour it directly on your background like me. I'm just a fast, ridiculous slob when it comes to arting. That's just my style. Do not follow me. But you do put it under and over, and it does dry like perfectly crystal clear. And again, have fun with that ear. If you want to flip it around, you can do whatever you want, but you do want the Mod Podge both over and under every single piece of paper. The more Mod Podge you use, the less wrinkles and bubbles you'll have. So it's just as simple as that. So eventually you want to take that even coat and smear it all around. Now things look really cute in 3s. So I have 3 in the bottom corner, and then it's a little crowded up top because his ear is there. So I'm only putting 2 in the top, but you could have flowers in all 4 corners, or you can glue. Rosie is still there. You can see her tail. You could have, flowers over the whole entire canvas. You don't have to do just limit it to 2 corners just because I like to. So when you're done, again, you want a nice even coat of Mod Podge over the entire thing. You can use gloss medium if you want to, and there's a lot of alternatives to Mod Podge, and I will link in the description box. I have a video on alternatives to Mod Podge in case you can't get a hold of it or you don't like it. There's a lot of people who love it. There's a lot of people who hate it. I totally understand. There are a massive number of alternatives to it if you don't like it, but it's just easy. And then you need to take a hairdryer if you're not patient like myself, and just make sure the whole thing has been dried. And then, as you can see, and don't worry, the blow drying part will end very, very quickly, and we'll get on to the next part, which is the finishing touches. But I basically just wanted to show you just for a minute so you can see how fast it dries. Even like the ridiculous goopy amount that I put on dries actually really, really fast. So hurry up, Karen, get to the darn fun part. And here we are. Okay, see, it's not all the way dry, but it will be. So now you can also mess around with the eyes. Like, do you want to put it at the top? Oh, you can have a nose. Look, can we just take a minute and talk about how cute this freaking little dog is, though? Seriously. So you can get an assortment of buttons for ridiculously cheap at your local craft store or on Amazon, and just play around with the colors. I never introduce new colors at this point. I only just keep reusing the colors that I see. So take guide from your scrapbook paper that you're using and pull out any extra colors that you want to. And now is a great time to use your buttons to bring in the new colors, but they're not new. They're the colors that I see in my scrapbook paper. So don't introduce any new colors out of what's already on your canvas, is what I meant to say. So you wouldn't have like black here or, tangerine, because it doesn't go. So just repeat the colors using the buttons that you have. I just have these buttons are 10 years old. They're left over from my craft days, my kids teaching days. And I'm so happy that I'm dipping back into these supplies, especially during the coronavirus, where I'm not going out shopping. I'm just like diving deep into my attic and seeing what I have. But the end results, you are going to be so happy. You can use a little ribbon and make a little ribbon hanger if you want to at the end, and it all dries crystal clear. It's like so cute for a children's room or your granddaughter's room. And I hope you enjoy this project. I have a whole playlist of fun other mixed media projects here on YouTube, and hopefully I will see you next week for another one.